Hi, welcome to Playful Preschool Education's team discussion on our favorite fall preschool activities. I am Amanda Boyarshinoff, and I'm a writer at The Educator's Spin on It, where I share parenting and education opportunities for children geared ages 0 to 7. I'm a master reading teacher for K-12 with my national board certification in early childhood elementary school, and I have 3 of my own wonderful children. Their ages are almost 2, 4, and 8. And here with me I have some of our team.
Okay, well, I'm Natasha. I blog at Tiny Tots Adventures. It's a little blog about preschool and toddler activity, games and activities. I like to take classic games that we play with when I was little and add an educational spin to them.
Well, that's awesome. And whenever Devaney comes back in, we'll let you just literally give us a holler, and then you can kind of join in. But what we were talking about today, before we went live, is some of our favorite things we like to do with our preschoolers. And I have, I guess, what you would call a reluctant learner for my middle child, and that means that he is only excited to do things on his own terms. So I'm always trying to come up with ways to keep him engaged and have his mind thinking. So one of our favorite themes this last week was learning about family. And so he made a little family puppet, and we worked a lot with sentences. Now, he is not reading. As a matter of fact, he knows one letter, which is the letter O. and I was very excited when that happened. But we're still working with letters and sentences. Like, I have this up on my whiteboard, and we've been practicing, reading the sentences. I love my dad, I love my sister, and I love my brother. And then we put one on magnets. And so of course, one of our magnets has already fallen off. We've been taking these apart, and then I'm having him build it. And the reason why this is good for him, he doesn't know his letters, and he's not familiar with his sounds, but we are trying to teach him these sight words. And so he can match the pattern and build the sentences along with the theme. So this is a very challenging activity for him, but he likes it because he really does love his brother and sister, and so he likes saying that over and over again. Anyone else have any great family activities they'd like to?
Can you hear me?
Yes!
Yay! Okay, my name is Devaney LeDrew, and I blog at stillplayingschool.com. I am a former kindergarten teacher turned right-at-home mom. I'm homeschooling my preschool-age daughter, E, and my background is in early childhood education and educational psychology. So she went to a traditional preschool last year, but we decided for this year to begin homeschooling her for preschool and for the future if it continues to go well. And so some things we have been doing for the fall, we made little apple figures for our family members, and so our family tree was literally an apple tree, and we sorted by gender and who lived where, and then we also did the traditional branched out family tree in that way. And another thing that we've been doing is talking just about everything that could be made with apples, and this is a sample. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of light, but it's a sample of her kid writing. So she was writing a list of the different things that we could make with apples, and then she was just accepting any writing that she could. For example, she has apples spelled correctly, but then for sauce, she has SOS, because those are the sounds that she could hear and identify for that. So, yeah, that's just
to interject that's like way awesome because I taught kindergarten, and a lot of kindergartners don't come into kindergarten with those writing skills. So.
Yeah, part of the reason that we decided to homeschool E is because of the level that she's at. So she's probably more at a late kindergarten, first grade level, even though she's 4.5 right now. And our choices for traditional preschool this year were to send her 5 days a week where she would academically be stimulated where she needed to be, and I just wasn't ready to part with her that many days. So we're going to try what we can do at home.
My oldest was kind of like that, where I sent her to kindergarten reading chapter books. So
yeah.
the preschoolers
are different.
Yeah, you just have to figure out what meets their need, and that's what great is about Apples is that I can do this with my 4.5-year-old who hates writing, and just to have him pick up an actual writing utensil and do it on his own, I was like, yes! And then here you are writing nice sentences. But you know what? Like, they all kind of figure out what their own talents are. So that's why.
Yeah, she loves to write. She literally has a writing utensil in her hand all the time. But the one thing that we are working on, and this is another thing that her traditional preschool was not meeting the needs for her last year, is she really needs a lot of fine motor work, and we do fine motor posts every Friday because her pencil grip is an inefficient, non-developmental pencil grasp. She W-sits, so she needs a lot of that OT, PT work, and so yeah, we just have decided to homeschool to really meet her as an individual.
Well, did either of you two ladies have any fun Apple or family theme activities that you wanted to share?
Can I speak? Well, we had 2 favorite themes this time. We had the apples that we really enjoyed, and we did a little eating of that. We did a lot of eating of those. But her favorite activity is the one I happened to share, and that's the activity where we did I placed the little stickers I bought from a dollar store on the apples, and I labeled them all with the alphabets and little bottle caps. We love bottle caps. We drink lots of water around here. So I didn't want to throw my bottle caps away. We put the little sticker on them, and we did a bobbing for apples that eventually turned into spooning, and then somebody just reaching in and grabbing in. And we enjoyed our farm theme. We enjoyed the farm thing where she had to put together the farm all by herself, pretty much. What was it?
You made a cute little sensory bin, didn't you? What did you put in there?
Let's see. We had rice. We didn't save much of the farm this time because water, rice, and coffee mixing together is not it's not good. But I let her make her own little rice. I don't know if you can see it, but I let her make her own rice. Mommy was supposed to go buy some dirt, but like I said, we ended up going downstairs in the basement and we found a can of coffee, and that became the dirt. Let me tell you something. It was a great smelling sensory bin. The first great smelling. We got the animals from the dollar store, and we ended up talking about the different animals that belong on the farm, because her idea of a farm really doesn't include animals often. Out here, what we had. Excuse me. Let's get somebody else.
Karis, did you have anything you wanted to add? Are you back?
I think I'm unmuting. Hi.
Yay.
Yay. Hi, I'm Karis. I blog at Rainy Day Mum. I am a marine biologist and also a teacher. I've got a
All right, that was a
preschooler who's 3.5.
Keep going, we'll catch you up. You've got a preschooler, we know it.
Okay, sorry, I'm stop animation here. Okay, can you see my family?
Well, I can't see your family, but I can see your wonderful portrait. I know that I was on your blog admiring your daughter's artwork, and I, for some reason, have never thought to cut pieces of paper out to make a portrait. And like I saw that and I was like Natasha was saying, it doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to go to the store and get anything. Like you can go into your craft bin or recycle papers and cut out shapes to make a portrait. And she made one for all of your family members, didn't she?
Yes, this is Mummy. This is Jay. Oh, there we go. We cut the cat and herself. Oh. Can we see her?
Yes, I think it's awesome.
Daddy. So we do a lot of fine motor skills. So cutting and tearing of paper. So this was perfect to work on skills.
And I think having to do the project 4 times, it kind of, you could spread it out over 4 days, or you could do a couple in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, and so that way they're getting that extra fine motor. And now, Devaney, do you do a lot of scissor cutting?
We do, but we also adapt with, yeah, you know, she's pretty good with the scissors. It's only pencils, pens, and we've been working on it for a little over a year, and so she's at a point now where if I remind her to hold it correctly, she will, but just the fine motor strength, she tires quickly. So little short activities versus a longer sustained period of work.
Mm-hmm. So like if you did the portrait of that she's talking about, would you do it all in one, or would you have to break it up for her?
She would probably want to do it all in one and start cutting, and then we would end up tearing or adapting for her in that way.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, Karis, I know that you had another really cool tree project you wanted to show us too. We'll have to catch, if you get better connection and you want to jump in and show us your tree project, just let us know. Another one that all of our blogs have activities for is, as Natasha brought out, is the farm. And I'm kind of an anti-technology person, which is kind of funny because I'm trying to get all of you guys on a hangout. But I think that for preschoolers, we need very limited technology. And when we do get online, I try to make sure it's either an educational game or it's like a book on CD. We checked out this little video clip from the library, and it has little 5-minute videos with like real life animals. And so like if we're playing with a farm, like you were saying, Natasha, like my son doesn't always see the animals on the farm, and so I might show him like this 5-minute video clip to kind of make it more real, or even before a field trip.
Amanda, you always have the very best video resources on your website for every topic. I love to use that as a resource.
Oh, well, thank you. But you know, I really don't want. Oh, sorry. And I'm off somebody. I really don't want to sit when my kid is here and be looking at YouTube for the best video. So like the night before, I'll scroll through and I'll probably watch 50 videos just to find the one I want to share. I was like, well, if I'm doing this, it doesn't make sense for me not to share it because I don't want to waste everybody else's time. So, and then I also checked out this funny book, Cockadoodle Oops. I have a million farm books, but it just also called out to me. So I like to pair like a little video with like 3 to 5 thematic books. That's kind of how I work every day. So he'll maybe watch 5 minutes of video during our 4 hours of preschool. And then he'll probably read 5 to 10 books. And then we usually make, like, this is what we did this morning. And this is my writing. As Debbie pointed out hers, this is grown-up writing. Sure, printouts are great, but the reality is that my printer's old and ink costs money. And so a lot of times I use this as my literacy lesson of the day. And so I gave him just a bunch of stamps. We drew the line and I said, you can stamp however many pumpkins is what he chose the stamp of. So I told him, you can stamp whatever you want above. And so he literally just stamped it and I said, okay, now we're going to count and find out how many. So he counts and I make him point to each one as he counts, because otherwise he'd go 1, 2, 3, a lot. That's my kid. 1, 2, 3, that's a lot. And so each of these would say that's a lot because that's how he counts. So I make him point to each one. And then I wrote the number 6, and then I wrote the word for 6 because I want him to know that there's a number for that and there's also a word that tells that. These both say 6. But the reason why I use this as a literacy lesson is because I will say, now what are these? Okay? And he looks at me like I'm crazy. They're pumpkins. I know they're pumpkins, but let's say that word really slowly. Pumpkins. Pumpkins. Okay? And then you listen for the beginning sound. And I only work with beginning sounds because that's at his level. Now, with like Devaney, when you're working with, you're probably going to be able to. I'm accurate. But when you go to yours, you're probably going to be able to teach her probably maybe even the if you're going phonetics. But she might be able to say pumpkins, and there probably would be with no P because you don't really say pumpkins. You know what I mean? Like, so she would probably be able to write that, but my son, I just want him to hear it. And so I want him to say pumpkins. And then we've been reading this, so we made this morning, and it's one of the easiest activities because all you need is paper and stamps. If you don't have stamps, you have stickers. If you don't have stickers, you draw it. And of course, by the end, we have a whole bunch because if you guys know preschoolers, some of them are either done or some of them get excited. This one got excited. I was like, okay, you got to stop at 30. And so we have 30 acorns, and then I made him a little number line. So it's just simple stuff that really you could do this with apples, you could do this with farm theme, you can do it with fall, and Karis is back. Did you want to show us your fall while you're back?
Can you hear me this time? And can you see me? Yay! Okay, so I've got technology, and this is one of our fall themes. Now, we love printing, and once you get the idea of the fall green, everywhere in England at the moment, our leaves are brown, orange, yellow. So,
Karis, we can't hear you very well.
oh, hang on, is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, sorry, I've now swapped to mobile technology, so I keep covering the microphone with my finger. Very sorry. Here we go. So we got printing. Now, I love printing because it combines artistic and creative, but also works on those fine motor skills. And to do the full picture here, we used a cork. Ideal for doing dots and spots, which are great because as we were doing it, we were able to talk about the shapes that were made, and they were circles and how many circles we were making and the different colours as well. So it's one of the areas that we're working on at the moment with T, who's 3.5, is circles, shapes and colours. Okay. Has anybody else done any printing as part of the fall theme so far?
No, but I want to now. I think we lost you again.
Can I cut in?
Oh yeah.
We didn't actually do printing, but we collected the fruit. It's kind of like a spiky ball from the Japanese flowering dogwood, I think it was, and we used those the way that you would use marbles to put them in the box with the fall colors to paint, and rolled them back and forth. So with the texture of the fall material, it was kind of spiky, so the artwork was beautiful, and so it was just another way to incorporate some fall materials in art.
Now, could you stamp with them, or are they too spiky?
You could stamp with them, and I have the post up on my website. It was a couple weeks ago, but her favorite part was pulling the spiky balls back out of the box and rolling them in the paint again. So that, again, was just great fine motor. And she could have stamped with them, but she really liked rolling them, and so that was a little bit of gross motor work, too.
Now, when you have it set up, how do you do it to kind of contain the mess? Or, like, do you have bowls, papers?
We put the paint in an old lunch tray, like a cafeteria lunch tray that we bought from a thrift store, and then so each section of paint was in a different divider, and she would roll it in there, and we were outside. We will work and learn outside until the weather will allow us not to.
I love it. That's how we are too. I think I have one last thing that I was going to show, and these come in. I think they're called what, an Etch-a-Sketch? I don't know. Does anybody else have one of these? Not like the farm one. I think.
Is it a magnet? Is it a magnadoodle?
Is that what that one is?
Yeah. Paper up.
Yeah, it's a magnadoodle.
I don't know. This one was like a quarter at a garage sale. I couldn't resist it. And it goes, I told you I'm in love with the harvest theme, so it goes well with my addictions. But these are really good, and it doesn't have to be this one. They think, are you sure it's a magnadoodle? I thought magnadoodle was the...
That's the Etch-a-Sketch. You have them backwards.
Yeah. So do you think it is an Etch-a-Sketch? Anyways, they are awesome for a lot of reasons, and because no matter what your kid's working on, you can pull out your Etch-a-Sketch and you can write the letter A and have them write the letter A. Or you could write the letter A and have them draw a picture of a word that has a beginning sound with A. Like a silly apple. Or you could give them a number and they have to write a picture. Or you could have them draw a picture. And this is how I draw my pictures too, by the way, with my children. And then they have to sound out the words. Always start with consonant, vowel, consonant. Short vowels are easier. But I find that we have little travel ones of these, and we just pop them in the car, and the kids play, like, sound out my word, as many games with that. So this is one of my versatile learning tools that I have out this week. And if I have it out all the time, they ignore it. So in about 3 days, it's going to disappear into the garage for a while. Does anyone have any great learning toys that their kids have been doing?
We're using nature at the moment. So I don't know whether you can see nature finds. So we went out on a nature hike this weekend, and we found some what we in Britain call clunkers. They're horse chestnut seeds, but I think they're called buckeyes in the States. Sweet chestnuts with their spiky cases. And then I've placed them for investigation with just a simple magnifying glass. And we're talking about the different textures, the colours, the noises that they make, what shapes there are, whether they're shiny, whether they're matte. So all different sorts of literacy words as well as science and nature going on. And then we're drawing and taking pictures and using some technology with them as well.
That's awesome. What about you, Devaney?
We just posted today about a sensory bin that we did with corn as the base filler, and then we added Indian corn too, and we were pulling those kernels off, so again, fine motor, and discussing the textures of the corn on the cob, the corn off, and the empty cob as well.
I love it. So nature can be a good toy, and then you can use sometimes food, and I know people have reused their sensory bin fillers as toys, so it doesn't have to be a new toy. It can be something like in nature or something in your pantry that can be used in a way that encourages play and learning.
I can't hear.
Oh, sorry. Natasha, what have kids been enjoying, either toys or play activity?
We're learning about patterns this week because my baby has been asking about a lot of different patterns. So I decided to dye some pasta, and we've been stringing them up and making pattern letters. I mean, not pattern letters, pattern necklaces. And currently, right now, we're working on this big project because this just came right in handy. Well, we're making for our playroom door. We're gonna take all of them for every season and string them up and go ahead and hang them across the door. But it works for patterns because she's been really into them and things. Use these. What else we've been using for them?
Well, and Natasha, what's great too is, does she know how long that is?
Right now, we have one that's a foot, and she knows that's a foot.
I can totally see my kids like writing the date and then like how long it is, and then the next date and how long it is now.
You know what? That's a good idea. See, my plan was to do each season, and then each holiday in between the season, we'll do a new one. So as you look at the wall, look at it, and then hang, and you can see the season, and you can see which holidays are in the season. That was my whole plan. But I like that. We're gonna do what day it is and what length now. I kind of enjoy that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, like that's the whole thing is
And then I brought out my trusty little beads. I love these beads because you can use them for so many things. The little glass beads, I use them for counters, but I decided this time we were going to use them to make the patterns, and we made like a chessboard box of patterns, and it came out really pretty. Then one-year-old came in and decided to play with it. But yeah, that's what we've been focusing on. We've been focusing more so on patterns this week.
Now, with the patterns, you're holding up gems, right?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you find them?
I found these at the dollar store. We have a new dollar store. There was never a dollar store next to me, so I never could get to one. But I lost my mind in the dollar store, and they have all kind of fall colors. It's fall color season right now, so they have it just everything you need.
Well, that's awesome. So you can, if you want to work on things, and I think Kim is a great activity where you write she has it with the sight word, but you put the letter and you just take like a black marker on a piece of paper, and then you cover it with the gems, and because they're see-through, you can see underneath them. I haven't gotten to the bees because I have a 1-year-old who still puts food or things in his mouth. So
We're doing that with our numbers so that she can learn the number words. You take the number, and now she has to put the gem on the number and put as many gems as the number is asking for. But that's what we've been working with too. But the patterns seem to be the thing. That's the winner right there.
right, you got to roll with what they're interested in. But I really like how you have the kind of what I was talking about earlier, where you have the number and the word.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, everyone watching us, what I will do is right below in the description of the video, these wonderful and talented ladies are going to be putting the links to all the activities that we've talked about. So if you want to be inspired and get more detailed directions on how to do these, I will include them below so that all you have to do is click on that activity and it will take you to a more detailed description. Thank you all so very much. We are posting every Wednesday preschool activities designed to be hands-on learning, thinking beyond the worksheet so that our kids are interacting with the materials, whether it's nature from our pantry, the toys, we're stopping at the dollar store, but we're trying to make sure that our kids have the early experiences that we want them to have. So stop by any of our blogs on Wednesdays for the newest themed activities. And thank you very much for coming. Bye.